You going to jail, you next. Bro, y'all can't be doing that to these rappers, bro. Why y'all be doing that? Hot take, I do not fuck with the UK rap. Even if they talk, it's just the way they sound and the way they pronounce things. When they try to be hood, it just sound too jolly. So boom, Big Rald HKJ3. Today we got Why Lil Baby isn't popular anymore. Now we know what's been going on around the rap industry. Ricos, everybody telling. It's a lot going on. So Lil Baby seemed like he trying to switch his flow up, switch the whole image up. He even took the 4PF chains away. You done took the 4PF chains away?
Why I when I go in there and rap, because it's like the same craft and the same hobby
Yo,
and turn serious.
Now, Lil Baby is a
turn
rapper who was on top
serious.
just a few years ago. These days, Lil Baby is just not as popular as he used to be. What exactly happened to Lil Baby and his career?
Facts. Georgia
This is
cracking
one of
down
the
on
most
them
relevant
boys.
conversations in hip hop right now. Now, what's going on with you today? So today, I want to have a little conversation about what happened
Yeah,
to Lil Baby
talk to me.
and did he fall off? So you see the clip I played you at the beginning of this video, which was an episode from Lil Yachty's podcast. He had Lil Baby on as a guest, and this interview has been making its way around the internet. Lil Baby spoke on a lot of things like his relationship with Gunna, which is non-existent according to him, which is obviously very unfortunate.
The
He
one,
spoke about the
he
rap
need
phase of
him.
his career,
We not gonna
the
lie.
streets, which is of course
He
very
need
relevant to
Gunna
his
right
career,
now.
because Lil Baby is considered a street rapper. More specifically, I want to discuss something he said on this specific part right here.
And I gotta watch what I say. I gotta watch what I do.
Exactly.
Our society trying to do rappers.
Yeah, everybody talking about you going to jail, you next. Bro, y'all can't be doing that to these rappers, bro. Why y'all be doing that? Like y'all was saying, oh yeah, 4PF and the Rico next. Y'all got this man scared. Y'all got this man scared to rap like he used to.
You know what I'm saying? I understand why they trying to do it, because some rappers put up for everybody. It's like, damn, now I'm in this group. So it's like
Yep.
hard for me to just go in there and rap like I used to rap. You know what I'm saying? That shit a whole different ballgame.
So I can't play the entire clip, but Lil Baby on the first part was essentially talking
Whole
about his
different
career as
ball
it is to
game.
why he's lost out on that fire in his belly. On one part, he spoke about being more conscious about what he says, which partially stemmed from him being a street rapper, because street rappers, as you guys know, they say a lot of things that could get him in trouble. We're going to talk about that aspect later on in the video. But one of the
That is
things
crazy,
he was
though.
hinting at is that he's just not as hungry as he used to be. I'm sure a lot of people know who Lil Baby is, but Lil Baby is a rapper who's been doing it.
I mean, once you make it, bro, you getting all this money. No, if you want to be great, you got to keep going and stay consistent. But he got money and got big headed and he chilled out. And that was not the right move. That was not the right move, baby.
Very big in the rap game ever since 2018. That's really when Lil Baby became a known figure on a mainstream level. Ever since then, he's put out a lot of great records. Some really great projects like My Turn, which came out during the pandemic in 2020.
Tired of being
2021
tired of being
reached his peak in popularity. Lil Baby was
Yeah.
one of the biggest rappers in hip hop in 2020. I think most of us who paid attention know that. He was one of the most streamed rappers of that year. A lot of his songs from that particular project did extremely well. My Turn, in the end, I would say became a trap/street classic. I still listen to that project, and I think it's definitely held its own weight for sure. And the numbers say the same. During that year, he also dropped The Bigger Picture, which was an extremely impactful
The Bigger
rap song that
Picture,
reflected
yeah.
the times. Lil Baby turned into a conscious rapper for that one record, and the song was a really big moment because of everything that happened back then. Ever since 2020, which was the height of his popularity, like a lot of us know, Lil Baby is just not as hot as he used to be. Now, this is for several reasons, but the biggest reason I would say is because the quality of the music just isn't as good as it used to be. Quality is of course subjective, so you can agree to disagree, but the general consensus seems to be that Lil Baby just doesn't sound as good as he used to sound. Aside from the
Facts.
subjectivity, I would say that a lot of it has to do with the repetitiveness as far as the content in his music. Lil Baby is a street rapper who raps about the streets, guns, money, lifestyle, passion, life, women, hunger, getting out the mud, and he makes
They had to
music
pick
has
that
a story
picture.
to it. But it's more on the lit side, and that's exactly what I've always
He
listened
do be
to
looking
Lil Baby.
crazy,
I don't know
though.
about you, but I don't listen to Lil Baby to hear about the political and economic state of the world. I listen to Lil Baby when I want to hear some turn
Damn.
up shit and get motivated. And I feel like that's relevant
His
to
shit
most people.
just zoomed
Lil
up
Baby's
on the
content overall
volume.
hasn't progressed all that much, but I would say that he still has his place
I thought
in
that
the
was
game.
my
I
shit.
still listen to his music, just not as much as I used to. There's a lot of great artists that have came out ever
Yeah.
since Lil Baby was very popular, especially street rappers. So
He's
there's a
still
lot of
hard
options
though.
for
He
people to
still got
choose
some
from.
hits.
And it seems like the general
Don't
perception
get me
is that he's
wrong,
just
baby
not that
still
guy
got
right
some
now.
hits now. Baby still got them hits. But he ain't got no recent hits. But he got them hits.
Although his last project didn't
Let's
do
not
all
get it
that bad.
wrong.
I mean, it did over 200,000 first week, which
We
is
can't do that.
solid numbers. But that was 2 years after he was going crazy, so it does make sense. Ever since then, Lil Baby hasn't dropped anything that's made a very big splash. Now, he was
Dumbass
featured on that
touchdown
Central
song.
C
Nigga in
record,
shoulder
Band for
pads.
Band,
Nigga in
which
the
ended
whole
up becoming a
uniform.
really big song. But it's of course not his song, and the perspective for a lot of people there seems to be Central C helped Lil Baby revive his career, which is a crazy thing to say.
Nigga was in the
because I
whole
think Lil Baby
uniform
can
for that.
hold his own. But if we take a look at the numbers, Band for Band has been the biggest thing Lil Baby has been a part
And
of.
he
for
was
the
number
last 2
30.
years. And don't forget, Central C is a UK rapper. He also dropped a song in early 2022 called
Hot take. I do not fuck with the UK rap. Even if they talk, it's just the way they sound and the way they pronounce things. When they try to be hood, it just sound too jolly. That shit be too jolly. Like, no, bro.
Right On, which I feel like is really underrated. That's probably one of the best songs he's dropped in a while. Aside from that, he was featured on that one Nav record alongside Travis Scott, and then at the end of 2023, dropped a 2-pack with a song called 350 and another one called Crazy. A few months ago, he was featured on Bossman D-Lo's song. He's a new successful name in the
Okay.
scene, called PJ, which is a banger. I like that joint. And then very recently, he dropped 2 songs that I think
That
are
was
worth
hard,
listening
though.
to: Insecurities and
That
5
song
a.m.
was
Aside from
hard.
that, Lil Baby hasn't made that big of a splash. And the conversation now is, did he fall off? This conversation was really relevant last summer because, as some of you guys might remember, Lil Baby made headlines for canceling several dates on his upcoming tour, which was
Ooh-wee.
supposed to start, I believe it was in August 2023, around 3 weeks before it
Gonna
kicked
cancel
off. He
that? I need
essentially
my
canceled
money
multiple
back,
stops
yup.
without explanation. In
Give my
other
money,
words,
bro.
He wasn't able to sell out those
Canceling
venues.
shows,
This
bro.
was
I
a
just
really big
paid
story back in
200.
2023, and I feel like that's when the topic of his fall off became a conversation. These days, people aren't
Oh,
checking
yeah,
for
for
him like they used to,
220.
and it does make sense. This is not even necessarily a reflection of the fact that he's completely letting
Bring your
himself
tickets
go, because I
down,
still
boy.
think Lil Baby has his place in the game. I mean, like I said, he recently dropped 2 very good songs that I've had on repeat personally. So clearly he's still got it. It's more that the times
Brand
in the
new
music
car,
industry,
ain't no
but specifically
easy.
hip-hop, are changing. Ever since the pandemic, a lot of rappers and artists who were hot during that era are just not talked about anymore. Although streaming has dominated the music industry for over
We on
the
that
past
Ken
decade,
Carson.
a lot of the
That's
rappers
what
who
we
became
on.
hot off of the streaming era
We on
have
that
seen a
opium
significant
weed.
decline, and that includes Lil Baby. A lot of
They
it, I
up right
think, has
now.
to do with how fickle music is now. And if you're
YBL,
not an artist who talks
Future,
about things that actually matter in the
and
real
Drake,
world
of
on a
course.
consistent basis,
Of
personally,
course.
I don't think you're going to stick as much as the person who does cover those real-life topics.
Drake,
This is,
yeah.
of course, not always the case, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of those rappers who may not be that relevant to the majority
Drake
of
gonna
hip-hop
do it
fans,
to him.
like NF is a good example, who we spoke about in that Lil Baby video from 2023, a lot of guys like that are literally selling out arenas just like that. I mean, a guy like NF sold out 20K people for multiple stops during his last tour.
Yeah.
And most hip-hop fans would definitely consider him irrelevant. Now, NF is a very different case, and I definitely think he's the polar opposite of Lil Baby 1,000%. But I want to use him as an example because it highlights that relevancy within the conversation of hip-hop isn't always the most important thing. What's more important than that is that you connect with your fan base. And for someone like Lil Baby, I
Facts.
think a lot of the hype
Gotta
surrounding
connect
him
with
and
your
his name
fan base.
has been
Come on,
generated by
y'all.
the music industry,
In your
the
community.
blogs, and not as fan-driven as it should be. That's why you don't tend to meet die-hard Lil Baby fans. I mean, ask yourself this question: when was the last time you met someone who said, "I'm a die-hard fan of Lil Baby"? It's almost like they
Oh,
don't
been a
exist,
while.
which of course
I
they
haven't
do.
heard that
It's
in a
just that
while.
certain artists thrive
Since,
heavily on
like,
a cult-like
ninth
fan
grade.
base, while other artists are more propelled by general hype. That then feeds into an audience. In the end, it all leads to a fan base, but the question is, what kind of fan base does it lead to? Now, when that base isn't fan-driven, what tends to happen is you have a situation like this. You're at the top of the world for a year or two, and 3 years later, they're saying that you fell off, which has reflected itself in the numbers, so it's not coming out of nowhere. There is a lot of validity to that statement. However, from another angle, the good thing about someone like Lil Baby is that he still has a track record of consistency. On top of the work he's already
Okay.
put in, he also has an extensive catalog. And to be
He's still
fair,
kinda going,
this
though.
is
He
another
ain't really
important
stopped.
factor of this conversation.
But he
Not
ain't as
every
hungry
music
as he
listener
used to
knows
be.
who Lil Baby is. So if he
Definitely
fucks
not.
around and gets another hit, all those new listeners are going to discover Lil Baby like he's a new artist, which is the dope thing about being a musician. You can be globally famous and still sometimes be unknown to certain pockets and certain demographics. Another aspect of this conversation as it relates to Lil Baby is the streets. Street
The
rappers are slowly
streets.
losing a grip on the culture, which
Gotta
is something
stop
I'm going
doing
to talk
that.
about soon.
Can't even
But
rap
Lil Baby
about that no
actually
more.
kind of touched on this during his
Indicted.
conversation with Lil Yachty.
This shit real. I seen him. I watch Young Thug try every day. I seen him. You really use stuff against him that don't got nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that right there could scare you. And then I'm one of them guys who I'm like really hands on, like, but that could be you.
Now, Lil Baby is a rapper who
Facts.
raps about the
Facts.
streets like a lot of other cats. And now
That
he's
could
seen a
be
lot
you.
of guys he once called peers getting locked up, like Thug, who's, of course, out now.
So y'all gotta rap
Lil
about.
Baby's actually
Y'all gotta start going to the. Ain't it fun? No, for real.
evaluating
Y'all
the
gotta
things
cut
he's
it out.
saying in his
No more
records now.
street
And
talk.
this is
None
a
of that.
very real thing because the feds,
No
right?
more
I'm
street
sure we
talk.
all know this, but they really pay attention to hip hop right now. I mean, rappers are still committing crimes and rapping about it for millions to consume. Just take a look at Lil Durk, who's currently behind bars.
True.
Lil Baby is in the same boat where people expect him to be on a certain type of energy, and he's feeling the pressure of that. And this is such a big aspect of his
Yep.
career because of
Can't
the
even
content
do
he
it,
put
man.
in.
Go on,
At
step
the end of the
away.
day, being a rapper in this lane comes with things that can be understood. For someone like Lil Baby, he grew up in the exact environment he's rapping about. And obviously he feels torn between keeping it real and saying just enough so the feds can destroy him. And this is something he's been talking about in his music for the last 2 years. On the intro of his last album, he said the following: "Nowadays ain't no time for me to kick it. Business
Yeah.
too intensive. They're gonna say that I've been acting different. I'm beyond their mental. I moved on from slang and drugs and pistols. Can't be thinking simple." And then on the song 5 a.m., which is a song he recently
Facts.
dropped, he said, "I got feds on my trail. They be trying to connect me to dumb shit. I got lawyers behind me. I'm ready to tell them come on." So Lil Baby is very aware of what's going on.
Okay.
It doesn't actually take a lot for a lot of these street rappers to catch a RICO case, believe it or not. A lot of these guys have in their past committed crimes that could put them behind bars even today. So for them, all it takes is for the police to start investigating in the right places and for them to start asking questions to the right people. So it's a very slippery slope because this is part of the reason why Lil Baby is where he is. And if he has to sit there and think about every single thing that he says as it relates to rapping about the lifestyle that he raps about, that's obviously going to affect the quality of his music. Because the quality of his
Facts.
music partially is
It's
dependent
over
on
with.
how real he keeps it. It's the same with Lil Durk. I mean, if Durk wasn't
But
out
Drake
here putting
straight.
out real life hits, would Dirk be as popular
Like,
as
ain't
he
nobody
is?
rap like
Probably
Drake.
not.
I'm
Actually,
trying
his
to
music
tell
wouldn't
y'all,
even be
that's
that
why he-
good if
see?
you keep it real.
That's why he
So
the GOAT.
factor in this along with the change in times and the abundance of rappers and him not having as much hype as he used to just in general because of the music, and we have the situation he's currently in. Personally, to me, it's kind of clear why Lil Baby isn't as popular as he used to be. But what do you think? Overall, I don't think Lil Baby is finished. He's still got it. I do, however, think
Yeah, he
he's going
still
to have to
got
win the
it, but he
public
gonna
over
have
by
to-
applying the same
gotta-
type of pressure he
he
was
gotta
applying
dodge
in
a few more
2020.
punches.
It's a hard task, though, because
Throw
let's
some
just keep it
uppercuts.
real. Replicating a moment in time, a different year, is a very hard thing to do. In general, though, it's really easy to tell that he's lost that grip he used to have. And I think that's partially why he's more open to doing media appearances. Obviously, he's way more well-spoken these days than he used to be back in the day. But another aspect of it is people actually want to hear you speak. You're not always going to be able to coast off of being cool because that's how a lot of street rappers maintain their success. Now for Lil
Playboy
Baby to actually
Cardi.
go past
He
this
going
point that he's
crazy, it don't
currently
even
at,
matter.
he's probably going to have to win over the casual listener by
They
showing
should have
more
took the
of
Playboy
himself,
Cardi
so
route.
those
Stay
people can
mysterious.
become a part of his core audience. Anyway, if you made it this far, that means that you enjoyed this video. So make sure you drop a like on it. And if you're new here, by the way, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you.